Good morning and welcome. My name is James Cook. Let's vlog. Oh my word, such an early start. Alright, I'm just picking up my girlfriend and her kids, then we're going to go pick up my son, and then we're going to all go to church, because it is a Sunday, and I'm going to talk about the range that's left on my car now that it's 7.5 years old and I've done almost 145,000 miles in it. Because the range has dropped a little bit. One of the problems with an old battery that has a smaller range than when new is that you do find it, basically it doesn't really change the amount of time it takes to get from A to B. What it means is you have to charge more regularly for shorter spaces of time. So that's what we're doing. And also I need some breakfast. So we're just going to quickly grab a Starbucks ham and cheese panini type situation and then back on the road. Not sure where we're going to get the rest of the power we need for today. We'll probably end up back here again on the way home, but I'm kind of hoping not. Slower supercharging is another thing that you can expect as the battery ages. Okay, that was a good service, enjoyed that. Right, so when we were leaving the what do you call it, the motorway service station just earlier, it was one of those things. Okay, so basically V went to the wrong Starbucks and there was a bit of a queue at the other Starbucks, and it just, the whole thing took longer than it should have. And I mean, even with an old battery that charges slowly, the truth of the matter is most of the time it's not you waiting for the car, it's the car waiting for you. And that was essentially the case this time as well, because we just needed a short zap and then off we went. So I mean, I don't know, I always find when people like moan and complain about how long it takes to charge, I mean, I'm fascinated by that, because I try as hard as I might, nobody I know seems to be able to actually go to a service station and not have it take 25 minutes, half an hour. I don't know. I need to get this thing washed. Look at this. Shocking, really. Need to round up the troops and go to a friend's house and have some tea, cakes. Talking briefly then, not about the car and its aged battery, but about myself and my aged sense of motivation. I think what I'm going to try and do, starting with this video, is just make much shorter videos and try and ensure that I put something up at least every other day for a couple of weeks, just to get back into it. You know, honestly, I'm going to not care about quality, I'm just going to care about speed and efficiency, which is actually what most EV drivers care about as well anyway. So there's that. You see, this is the kind of waffle I have to cut out, and I have to not sort of, you know, I just need to, all the time, I wouldn't believe it, over the last couple of months, I have shot 10, 20 videos that I've just got partway through editing, and it's taken so long that I've gone, oh, it's so out of date. Like, for example, the one I'm editing at the moment, it starts by going on about the fuel shortage still going on. And actually, I think for the most part, the fuel shortage is now over. There's some irony for you. So, and that's the problem. I need to shoot and then get it up. Like literally a day or two later at most. Because, you know, often I'm talking about what's, you know, in the news, topical events, and they don't, you know, it doesn't stay current. So yes, must do better. Time for lunch. domestic power. I really dislike charging my car from domestic sockets mainly because it's slow. I mean, for safety's sake, I turn the charge rate down to 8 amps. The cable supports up to 10 amps. The socket in theory can do 13, but don't know if I'd want to trust that for any length of time. But the problem with 8 amps is it's like really slow. It's like 5 miles an hour or something, which we're only here for a few hours, so it's barely worth it. Now, as it turns out, I think that those few hours, those few miles, will hopefully make the difference between us having to charge on the way home or not. I mean, okay, full disclaimer, if we want to just drive home, we have got plenty of range right now to do that, no question. We could have not plugged in here and still had plenty of range. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep the battery between 90 and 30% in that sort of range most of the time, preferably between 80 and 30 really, because I want the battery to last as long as possible, because this car's done 145,000 miles odd, and I would like to do another 145,000 miles in it. I suspect that's not going to happen, but you know, I'm just doing whatever I can to try and ensure that it lasts as long as possible, because it's effectively free driving for me now. You know, after 7.5 years and that many miles, the vast majority of the value I put into the vehicle has come back out through me using it. So now it's all just upside. The longer it lasts, the more wonderful it is. So yeah, and I definitely need to get the thing cleaned. So messy. This might be quite a good time to talk about the range in this car. So when I first bought this, it had a range of about 242 miles, I think it was, and reasonably quickly that dropped to about 230 on a full charge. It's now down to 220 on a full charge, so effectively 91-92% of the range it had when new. So, you know, 8% range loss over 7.5 years on a, this is a D pack, that's what they called it, the battery pack that was in there. So it's, you know, it's quite an old chemistry, quite an old design of pack compared to what they're producing these days. And I mean, I think it's lasted really, really well. You know, I think losing 8% over that many years and that many miles is not bad going. There are some other things like the slower charging that goes with that. I also have found that temperature wise it seems to be much more sensitive, so when it's cold you don't get full regen for a lot longer than you do in the newer cars. And actually I think when the battery pack was actually newer in this car, the sort of dotted line that means limited regen seemed to go away a lot quicker. So I'm guessing as the chemistry is aged and as Tesla have updated the software in the car, they've made it more conservative on that charging when battery is cold thing. So, but you know what? I don't mind. Charging slowly, fine. Limited regen, fine. What I care about is keeping the car rolling for as long as possible. Speaking of which, it's about time we headed off now. We're getting some emergency food. We are almost home. So it's emergency food time, and my battery is going to be, by the time we get home, at, wait for it, 23%. I almost never run my battery down that low, but this time I sort of felt I didn't have any choice because I couldn't be bothered to stop and charge, basically. Anyway, gotta go. Amazing. Right, well, in keeping with my new sort of shorter, sharper video format, I'm going to say goodbye for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, remember to leave a like and share it and subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. The links are in the description. And a big thank you to my patrons, as always, because you guys are awesome. I'll see you all in the next episode of my vlog. Bye.